Alright, let's go ahead and get started with Autodesk Inventor Professional. So open that up, and this is the splash screen that's shown. First thing is to do is to check our projects. I want to be in the puzzle project, or the puzzle. Most of you have already created that project, so make sure there's a checkbox there. Now I'm going to go to Part, create a new part. It's going to take a second. I just clicked on that. See down at the bottom, it tells you what's going on. It's loading. Now it's opening. Alright, so we have a new part file opened up right here, so we can go ahead and take a look at that. And we say, alright, to start things off, we're going to start with a two-dimensional sketch. So there's two little buttons here, so don't let that get confusing. Just go to the top part of that button, click on that bad boy. Depending on how you sketched your part, there's lots of different ways that you can do this. The way I did mine is from the top, or looking at it from the top view. You might have drawn yours isometrically looking from this plane, but it'd be one of the other. And if you have any questions, just ask. So I'm going to click on that one to start with. And now I'm going to, in my case, all these are 3/4, so we're going to go ahead and just create a line here. Now, you might need to move around the screen. If you hold the middle wheel, the mouse wheel down, if you hold that down, it'll grab. See that hand? It'll slide that thing over so you can kind of look at things a little bit better. Alright. I always like to start on this little green dot. We call that the origin. It's the 0, 0 point. Click there. Drag it straight up. See that little box that's blue? It says 0.660. I can type right now. That's what's going to go in there. The first part of my puzzle is 0.75. And then if I hit enter, after I have that in there, it goes right to that size. So 0.75 again. Enter. Now you notice that this line it kind of looks jagged. That means it's not parallel, or it's not at 90 degrees with this other one. We don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and hit escape on the keyboard to cancel that command. I'm going to select the line by clicking on it, left clicking, and then hit delete on the keyboard. Get rid of that line. Let's try that again. Make sure it snaps onto the endpoint. Draw that thing out. Make sure it's at 90 degrees. Now put 0.75, hit enter. So the important part is making sure that's at 90 degrees before you type in your numbers. And we're just working this guy around. You can see this thing snap down. It's already at 0.75. I'll just click to drag that over. Still at 90, so 0.75, enter. Back at 90, 0.75. Bring that thing across. Hit that puppy right there, and we got that going right now. So now I have everything all dimensioned already. I can hit E on the keyboard, or I can click Finish Sketch. You can see this part coming up right there. Hit extrude. And it says, how far am I extruding it? 1 inch right now. I believe that needs to be 0.75 because we're talking about the cubes we're making. Hit enter. And now I have one of my parts. If I want to look at it differently, I can just kind of click on these different corners. Kind of give me some different views. At any point in time, I click the home button. We bring it back to how I sketched it. Alright. Now, if you colored this part right here, we come over and we click the whole part. So select that. So now it's blue. It's selected. And over here, this is material. This is color. Okay? So, our color and then material. My bad. So if we click this guy right here, this can... Oh, I was right. So this is my materials. This is a birch wood. So if you want to change it to that, you could. But you could also change it to any color you wanted to. So if you kind of made your own color or something like that, like a red or a magenta, so you can go ahead and whatever you sketched it out as, you can add that color to it now. So now if you take a look at it and we can rotate it around, you got all that stuff going and basically have your first part created. Once that part's created, we'll just go ahead and click save. And you'll notice it's going to go into your puzzle project, into your correct folder. If this is part number 1, I remember I told you to label them, then go ahead and leave it as part number 1. This one actually happens to be part number 5 for me. So I'm going to change that to 5 and click save. Done. Now you're going to repeat this process for all your other ones, all right? So I'm just going to do that real quick. So we'll go over here. We can go to New. See some different things here. Is this a metal piece? Sheet metal? No, just standard. Start 2D sketch. And this time it doesn't. I'm just going to keep the same plane that I've been working on. Click that thing again. And now we're going to use the line tool, but this time we're just going to kind of go kind of fast, all right? We're just going to make sure everything's at 90 degrees and not really care about what the dimensions are, okay? This is another process if you prefer it. So we just got to make sure everything's at 90 and everything matches up that way. Now we can go through and we can use a tool called dimensioning. So the hotkey on the keyboard is D on the keyboard, or click the dimension tab. And let's rock this thing out. Click that line, click again to place a dimension, type in 0.75. Okay, click the line, drag it up, click again to place 0.75. Drag the line up, click to place 0.75. And this is where it gets kind of crazy, you know. So that's the only bad part about doing it this way, because then kind of like all your lines get nuts. So you can always hit escape if you need to, and you know, cancel out of that tool. Notice nothing's active, and you can kind of drag, just click and drag those lines out a little bit if you want to. So D on the keyboard again, so it brings up my dimensions. Click here, 0.75. Here. Click again, 0.75. Now if I try to put another one in like this, it's going to say, hey, you don't need to do this. It's going to over constrain it. Okay, cancel. I'm good. If it's purple, that means you have all the dimensions necessary to build this particular part. 0.75, 0.75. Everything is already there. See that? So everything's good. Everything looks good. We can hit Finish Sketch. Remember the hotkey on the keyboard? You can click here, or you can hit E on the keyboard. 0.75. Accept. Change your material. Birch. Change your color. And this one is blue. There's some different blues. You pick which one you like. Got it. I guess I drew the same part, so I could have drew a different one. But you get the gist. That's what you got. Save that part as whatever number and just continue on until you get all your parts made. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, happy inventor part drawing.ipts.